Yes, madam, should we proceed?
Yes, definitely.
Good evening, all the friends at Lovely Professional University. This is Dr. Upendra Katoj, Professor, Accounting and Law at Mittal School of Business, Lovely Professional University. Friends, it is a pleasure to be here with all of you on this wonderful evening where Lovely Professional University has organized a session on employment prospects after you gain a degree in commerce. If you're spending your nights worrying about what should be your next step after BCom, it is not surprising. Because after you're holding a graduation degree in commerce, you're flooded with flurry of options around. If you have completed undergraduate degree course in Bachelor of Commerce and still undecided on what should be next move, this is the session for you. We are here to cover a list of courses after BCom, eminent careers after BCom that you can pursue for a successful future ahead. We also will cover job descriptions in brief for each, along with their salary details for your clarity and understanding. To speak on the topic, we are having amongst us eminent speakers. We are having CA Varun Agarwal, who is a chartered accountant, an independent accounting professional with more than 15 years of post-qualification experience and expertise in audit of entities under various statutes, bank branch audits, internal audits, forensic audits, compliance audits. He's also into consultancy services relating to direct and indirect tax planning, debt syndication, working capital financing, corporate insolvencies, and valuation of financial assets. He's also carrying out valuation of entities under various statutes like Companies Act, Income Tax Act, SEBI. He's also handled 3 assignments as resolution professional and liquidator and has been assisting insolvency professionals in CIRP and liquidation process. A very warm welcome to CA Varun Agarwal.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Next, we have with us Mr. Kamal Rajnikant Bora, who is a dedicated finance professional with accomplished ability to work in a fast-paced environment independently. Presently, he is working with 3M as senior management manager. Earlier, he was working with Ernst & Young Global Delivery Services India Limited, senior consultant. Then he also worked as assistant manager at PricewaterhouseCoopers India. He is providing financial services to a number of public and private sector clients in accordance with US GAAP and PCAOB guidelines. Sarbanes-Oxley assessments he is into, letter of assurance, internal audit follows. A very warm welcome to CPA Kamal.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
So friends, we are having eminent experts who will be sharing their views on this important topic. And for the benefit of the audience, if any of the audience have any queries relating to the session, they can share their queries in the chat box that is provided here. And for your kind information, all the queries will be handled at the end of the session. Dear audience, India has been running very, very, very fast. And that's why we need to gear up to grab the opportunities it is providing to all of us. Practically speaking, if you want to grab these opportunities, you have to be active. Rather, you have to be proactive. As Acharya Chanakya once said, there is no future for a lazy person. And unless and until we are active, we just cannot survive in this highly competitive global world. So without taking much more of your time, let us start with our panel discussion. A number of fields that we are going to cover in the next 1 hour. Audience, it's for your kind information that CA Varun has done chartered accountancy with the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He's also certified public accountant under American Institute of Certified Public Accountants, USA. He's a graduate in commerce from Loyola College, Chennai. He's also independent director under Indian Institute of Corporate Affairs. He's qualified insolvency professional under IBBI. He's also registered valuer under IBBI. So the question here goes to CA Varun Agarwal. Sir, as you know, chartered accountancy, company secretary, CPA, all these are most popular and common opportunity among passing BCom students. So we just wanted to know what these professional bodies are, what different functions they are performing, and what job roles they are offering to a BCom student.
So thank you for the brief introduction, ma'am. That was quite comprehensive. And so, ma'am, ICAI, the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, that's the regulatory authority and the guiding body for all the chartered accountants in India. And similarly, for CPAs, we have this American Institute of Certified Public Accountants. So that's again our parent body for all the certified public accountants across the globe, CPA US. So these are the institutes, these two parent bodies, they are the ones who devise the curriculum, they devise the structure and what is the entry to all these students to pursue the courses. They are the ones who conduct the exams. And then after becoming a professionals, you get membership and affiliated to these bodies. So this is how the brief structure works, ma'am. So these are the two parent bodies, which are the most important bodies for the two courses.
Okay, I mean, after BCom, what a student has to do to qualify for these courses and what job roles these courses are offering to BCom students?
So ma'am, coming to, first I'll just talk about CPA. So in CPA, we can get into a direct entry after BCom. There are 4 papers which have to be written. And prior to that, there's an evaluation process which has to be completed, wherein you get accredited, you get joined with any of the boards. There are 55 boards in the US. So with any of the boards, you can register, and then you have to take up 4 exams. The best part about CPA is you can take up exams, these 4 subjects at individual intervals. It's not that you have to qualify all the 4 at one time. So based on the first subject, when you clear, you get 18 months time. And within that 18 months window, you have to clear the 3 subjects. And post that, you get your degree. And then there are a lot of these big fours and many organizations who absorb fresh CPAs. And since there's a lot of shortage also of accountants in the US, so there's a huge role of accountants as CPAs who can play in the job market. Now, coming to an Indian CA, a person can register with the ICAI and take up the foundation course. And then once he clears the foundation, he goes to the intermediate and then he goes to the final course. Again, as a fresh chartered accountant, there are a lot of opportunities in the finance market, as well as the best part of CA is once you qualify as a CA, you also get a chance to start your own practice and become an entrepreneur. So these are the 2 big job areas that that is offered to these professionals.
So my question is there, like after BCom, only 4 subjects or 4 courses you have to qualify for CPA, right?
Yeah.
But if you see CA, CS, CMA, I mean, so many groups are there we need to clear, because I myself as company secretary, number of courses we had to clear. I just want to ask why it is so. I mean, only 4 courses for CPA and a number of groups we have to clear to qualify as a CMA, CA or CS.
To be honest, we wouldn't be the right person to answer the question, but probably I can only say that the Indian education system is such that, we as individuals from India, we are accustomed to huge chunk of books right from our kindergarten days, and wherein we are loaded with homeworks, books, and we are accustomed that we can take up so much of pressure and abide by it. So I'm not demeaning the professionals back in the US, but again, the education system is very different from what we have in India to that of the West. So probably that could be one of the reasons why there are so many subjects in the Indian professional system vis-a-vis the US CPA.
Okay, sorry, because you are a chartered accountant also, and then you cleared CPA, right? Did you get any exemption in those 4 courses because you have done so many courses there in the CPA? CA?
Unfortunately, there is no MRA between ICAI and AICPA. So there is no exemption per se between these 2 bodies. So a person who is a CPA and wants to do a CA has to go through the entire, all the 3 stages and write all the exams. And the person who is a CA and wishes to become a CPA has to appear for all the 4 exams. So there is no MRA between these 2 bodies.
Yeah, beautiful answer. Thank you so much, sir, for beautifully answering this question, because these are my favorite, professional degrees. That's why I started the session with these degrees only.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. So over to CPA, Kamal. Sir, insurance and banking. These are the sectors which are fast evolving and witnessing a transformational change and creating ample opportunities for BCom students. So BCom graduates, these are the preferred choices whenever there are some hiring in the banking or insurance sector. So what are the career prospects, job scope in these sectors for BCom pass outs?
Okay, perfect. Thank you, ma'am. So first of all, when we look after the banking sector, so basically it's divided into two categories. So first is the public sector banks, which all the Indian banks which are there, and the other is private sector banks. So if you want to go through any of the public sector banks, you need to give the IBPS exam, which is an exam which you mandatory need to clear to get into any public sector bank. So that is one thing which is not as difficult, but again, it takes some time. It takes some preparation to go through it, but anyone can appear for that exam after BCom. So that is one thing which you need to go through it. Again, when it comes to public sector bank, SBI conducts its own exam, which examination which is only specific for State Bank of India. So again, you can take the exam after BCom also. That's also not that difficult, but again, some preparation goes through it. When you talk about private sector banks, it's easy to get inside it. There is no such exam which you need to go through it. But if you have required qualifications, like once you are done with your BCom, you can start with a nominal like associate kind of a job in any of the private sector bank, and then you can move up your ladder like as and when you progress in your career. But it's both the thing. It's good like whether it's private sector, whether it's public sector, or both of them has their own benefits, but both are good actually. And
And
when
what
you
about
talk about when we talk about insurance, again, insurance sector, there is soon after BCom, it's little difficult to get inside it because when we talk about insurance, there are multiple departments which are there in the insurance sector. But again, right soon after BCom, I won't say it's very easy to get into an insurance company. But yeah, if you do some professional qualification after BCom, then it becomes a little easier to get into insurance department.
what are the different job profiles available in these two sectors?
So when we talk about insurance, actuaries are the most demanding profiles which they look out for. Accounting jobs and auditing jobs are also ample when we talk about insurance as well as banking sector. So if you like the most fancy profile which you talk about the insurance sector is actually, but for that you need to complete the actuarial services examination, which is like one of the toughest examination. But if you want to get into any accounting job or any auditing or taxation job, after BCom, it can happen. But if you have a professional qualifications along with your BCom, then it becomes very easy to get into it.
Fine. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very much. Okay, one more question to you, sir. It is my favorite stream, income tax, because I'm also teaching income tax and corporate tax planning in the classes. So many a times we think of adopting a career in income tax, but because we are not aware how to pursue a career in it, we often stop dreaming of making a career in this income tax field. So what I think it is one of the most interested career of many students. So I just want to ask you, how can a BCom student become an income tax officer and can enter the revenue authorities?
Okay, that is difficult. So if you talk specifically about the Income Tax Department of India, so they have their own set of exams which they conduct once in a year. So you need to appear for that exam after BCom. So minimum eligibility is after BCom. You can appear for that exam. Once you clear that exam, there is a set of interviews which goes through it. Then you can become an income tax professional. But again, when we talk about these MNCs, like all the big fours, when they hire anyone for income tax, like basically US taxation or direct taxation in India, that is soon after BCom, you can apply for it. Like any of these big fours, which you see like EY, Deloitte, KPMG, PwC, they keep walking interviews and they have a lot of openings around taxation part. So if anyone wants to enter that profile, they can easily get into any of these big fours. And again, if you want to climb up the ladder in the taxation profile, then there is one specific exam which is called as an enroll agent, which is applicable in US and UK. So once you clear that, then you can become it becomes very easy to get into any of the taxation job.
Okay, is it necessary to pursue professional degrees after BCom or just holding some diploma or certificates there in GST or direct taxation and all is sufficient to enter into industry to, practice this taxation? Is it
Yeah,
possible?
yeah, it's possible. It's possible. It's not that difficult, but you need to have a proper understanding how to go about it because it's something which is very sensitive matter. Taxation is something which is very sensitive. So you need to be aware about all the laws and every guidelines which are laid out by the government of respective countries.
And is it possible for our students who are doing taxation as per Indian taxation system and they are going abroad, is it possible for them to easily adjust in their revenue departments?
Yeah.
Okay.
It is actually very easy. Honestly, it is very easy because I'm also doing US taxation for a couple of companies. So it is not that tough. Like the thumb rule still remains the same, but you need to be aware about the guidelines and it's not that difficult. So if you know about the basic of taxation, you can do taxation of any countries. It's not that difficult.
So you need to do, clear some exams abroad. If you are already a taxation expert in India, or you have done BCom with taxation honors, and you're going abroad, do you need to clear some exams there to enter into their authorities or not?
No, you don't need to give any exams, but you need to have a valid PTIN number, which is a permanent tax identification number, which you can get it easily. So you need to have that PTIN number to prepare as a taxpayer, to be as a preparer for any of the tax preparer.
You mean to say that our studies are well recognized abroad, right?
Yeah, our studies, I guess, is the best across the globe, I guess.
Yeah,
Honestly.
this is what
Absolutely.
Mr. Varun said.
There's no second
Yeah.
thoughts on that.
Yeah,
Indian education system is simply unbeatable.
Definitely. There is no substitute or there is no competition to Indian education.
But this is really bad, Mr. Varun Agarwal, because you are CA and CPA also. You did CA and cleared so many groups, foundation, inter, and then final group is there. But for CPA, you had to clear all the 4 exams. No exemption was there, right?
That's the hard way I had to take. But yeah, that was always a dream, to have some international certification behind my name. And thanks to lockdown and no better time to do this, to chase my dream. So that's when I thought of clearing the CPA.
Okay, during lockdown only you cleared CPA.
Yeah, so
How much time?
I cleared CPA just 6 months back.
6 months back. And how much time did you take to clear these all 4
I
exams?
took a good, I think about 18-20 months I took. So I was at
Just
leisure.
18 to 20 months.
Yeah, I had a lot of commitments in between, my office, family. So all
Okay.
those commitments were there in between. So yeah, that's the thing. That's the reason it took a longer time. But yeah, at the end of the day, it's all well.
So did you undergo
Even
some
I-
training for this, or you prepared on your own, or some coaching classes did you take for this?
So in India, there are a lot of these institutes who impart CPA related classes, who have tie-ups with some service providers back in the US. So the simplest thing is to enroll with any of these institutes in India. And I wouldn't name any because that would not be right. But there are a lot of these institutes who have you can enroll with them. So they provide you with an online platform which has recorded videos, which has the study content, which has the requisite MCQs and the simulations, which are at par with the exams conducted by the AICPA and a lot of these mock tests, practice tests. So unlike Indian education system, wherein you can get questions from anywhere under the sun. So over there, the US CPA education system is quite, focused, and they don't generally deviate from the topic. So that's it's easier not to crack rather than in Indian CA.
Okay, fine. So are you getting any US clientele after clearing this CPA, sir?
Of course, marketing is a challenge. I do not get direct clients immediately because I've been in the Indian taxation and the audit system right through my career for the past 15, 17 years now. And to jump immediately to a US taxation is a challenging thing. The first thing is that I have to create the visibility, create my name back over there. So LinkedIn is a very big platform which allows you to market yourself. And of course, word of mouth, and there are some professionals who are working in the US taxation and other areas who take my services for some consultancy work. So yeah, gradually work is coming as an independent practitioner. It is a very tough or a challenging scenario, but yeah, it is work is coming now, I would say. In the US taxation part, like I'm right now doing a lot of SOC audits. So it's not into the core US taxation or the, which nothing to do with the IRS, but I'm doing a lot of SOC audits as of now.
Okay, fine, sir. And what is the cost structure for each paper, sir, for a CPA?
So approximately, if you convert it in INR, on an average, every exam costs you roughly about 60,000 bucks. If you convert it in INR, yeah, it is about 720, including your application fee, your international testing fee, and your so both put together, it works out to that. So the best part about the students who want to appear for CPA in the US is they don't have to pay this international testing fee. So that's an additional burden for students outside the territory of the US who take up these exams globally. So they have to bear this additional burden of the international testing.
I think it's still, affordable. Just 2.4 lakhs you have to spend, and you can qualify for the same, right?
So that's about the exam fees alone. But as I mentioned a few minutes back, we have to get our evaluation done. And then, there is a substantial amount to pay for these institutes who impart knowledge on, or, classes and give these study materials. So that also on an average works out to about 1 lakh. The evaluation and the initial application fee works to about somewhere around 25 to 30,000 rupees. Again, depends on which board and which evaluation agency, whether it is NIES or FACS, depends on all that. And then if you want to take up a license, so the licensing cost is also applicable. So all put together, somewhere a CPA, if you clear in the first attempt, somewhere cost you about 4.5 to 5 lakhs. 4.5 lakhs is a very apt figure that I'm talking about.
Okay, fine. That's great. That's great. Okay, sir, because you are insolvency professional, so question goes to you only. And if you talk about Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code 2016, many professional opportunities have appeared for Indians because of implementation of this code. And ladies and gentlemen, as we know, the successful implementation of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code in India, it requires assistance and help from large number of insolvency professionals, registered valuers, so many advocates and financial advisors and all. So my question to you, sir, I mean, how appealing is this field, and especially for those who are holding a degree in commerce, sir?
So, ma'am, to start off, IBC was born in 2016. So it's again a born baby, just 7 years back. And right now, a BCom cannot directly become an insolvency professional, because to become an insolvency professional, you need at least 10 years of post-qualification experience. So basic degrees, you should either be a CA, CMA, or a CS, or an advocate, or a management consultant with having the 10 years of experience. But yeah, if BCom wants to pursue this course, there is this institute which is offering a 2 years IP course now. So you can enroll with that. And of course, to gain practical knowledge, you can, the BCom graduates can tie up with insolvency professionals to know the CIRP process, to know what is the liquidation process, to know how the entire gamut of IBC works. So even if you are not holding the degree per se, the experience part, of course, is very important, that can be gained by assisting or associating with an IT.
What is the scenario there in the Indian market? How many companies are going into liquidation, and how much clientele you are able to fetch?
Talking about statistics, people talk very negative about IBC. There are not many successful resolution plans that have come up. And a classic example that we all know about was Jet Airways, which was grounded for quite some time, and it is not taken over. But recently, some guy from UK has come up and for the resolution plans. So yeah, it is a very niche area as of now. But again, it's not grown that big. People want that awareness, and the success rate is not very high as of now. But yeah, in the near future, we expect it to grow big.
Fine. And how much fees an insolvency professional is able to grab out of this resolution process?
And again, depends. It depends on the project. It depends on the, how smart we are, what kind of an, assignment we get, and whether it is going to go into, from the CIRP, whether it is going to go into liquidation. So all those factors count. But yeah, it is very remunerative. If you get into the right area, life is set.
Life is settled.
Yes,
Okay.
It is a very, very highly remunerative, but high risk job as well.
High risk job.
It is a very high risk job.
In what sense?
In the sense, I've heard instances where, insolvency professionals have got threatening calls from the corporate debtors, advocates, or, the other persons who, you see the simple funda of IPs, any managing director wouldn't be like to be thrown out of his position, and in front of his eyes, somebody comes over and takes and starts taking charge of the company, right? So that's an ego issue. And when some other person starts taking charge of the company, starts giving you orders, so you wouldn't like that. So that's the one negative area which I have heard from a lot of professionals. In fact, in one of the assignments when I took up last year, I had got a call from the, CD's, the corporate debtors advocate. You cannot proceed like this. You're hindering my client. You're harassing him. And yeah, so those are all part of the profession.
And how many cases till now you have handled, sir?
I have handled 3 cases. So yesterday was my 3rd case, which, was there in NCLT. So yeah, I've handled 3 cases.
And on an average, how much time it is taking to resolve one case, sir?
So luckily for me, the first two cases, the application was withdrawn by the applicant. So it did not take much of a time, and each assignment got over in about 7 to 10 days time limit, and I made a good money out of it. But yeah, the third assignment has been dragging for about a year now.
Okay, if you are asked how efficient and effective this IBC code is, what would you say about the efficiency and effectiveness of this code?
Ma'am, there are a lot of bureaucrats who have, structured the act, the rules, the regulations, adopting the, global like insolvency, act or the rules. But yeah, there are a lot of upgradations yet to happen, and it is again, as I said, it is a very upcoming area. So every day it's a learning, and we make something out of the act, and then we interpret some section or rule or regulation, but that is taken another way. Then there is a amendment to it. So yeah, it is a very challenging thing as of now.
And what about registered valuers, sir?
Oh man, registered valuer is a very upcoming area. Brilliant, I would say. Again, a very, very niche segment. As a registered valuer, there are a lot of areas that a registered valuer can practice in. So he can practice under the Income Tax Act, the SEBI, under Companies Act, under FEMA rules. So all these areas are huge areas that, and classic example, of course, startups. Startups require a lot of valuation to pitch into these seed investors, angel investors. So they need their valuation report to be done. And now it is mandatory that every valuation has to be certified by a registered valuer who is registered with the IBBI. So again, I would say as a valuation assignment is remunerative. Comparing the time frame and the effort that is put in, it is remunerative. Yes. And it's
what percentage of that valuation goes into the kitty of this valuer, sir?
Again, ma'am, I'm sorry, again, what percentage?
What percentage of that valuation goes to valuer, sir?
I mean, though, ma'am, I don't think so. Per se, if you ask me, I've never believed in charging my fees based on the turnovers or anything. That is that I wouldn't like to comment on what my fellow professionals do. But yeah, we have a set of fee structure that we follow, and that is not directly linked to what the value will be or what the turnover is. But yeah, what is the efforts? What is the what are the complications involved in a particular project? Based on that, we charge a fee. So it's not linked to the value that we arrive at.
Okay, so that's not linked to the valuation of the property, right? Great.
Generally,
great.
we don't do it.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir, for talking on insolvency professionals and registered valuers. Over to CPA Kamal Rajnikant. Sir, we shift to stock markets now. Stock markets nowadays is providing a platform for many interesting job roles in the domain of finance, sir. With a fair amount of expertise and experience in the field, you can make huge earnings within a short span of time. So you need to have a background in commerce, business administration, and economics to become a professional stockbroker. So my question to you, sir, what variety of job roles this field has to offer to commerce graduates?
Okay. Basically, I'm a Gujarati and I'm into stock market since almost 15, 20 years now. So I've learned from my dad. My dad has learned from my granddad. So I'm into stock market since many years now. If you're a BCom professional, it's not like that it becomes very easy for you. You just need to have an understanding of what stock market is. Okay. So when you see about the profiles, there are multiple profiles when it comes to stock market. So first and foremost, and the most common one is research analyst. And again, in research analyst also, there are multiple kind of things. There is
Hello, we can't hear you, sir. Some issues there. Yeah, hello.
I think his internet has got stuck.
Yeah, some issues there. Mr. Kamal.
Yeah, he's joined back.
Now you're back. Yeah, please continue, sir.
Okay, so when we talk about stock market, so basically there is fundamental analysis and technical analysis, which is both. So when we talk about fundamental analysis, basically you look after the fundamentals of the company, you look after the financials of the company, and based on that, you take a call whether you need to invest in this company or not. And another side is technical analysis, where you look at the charts, technical charts, candlestick pattern, and then based on that, you can decide which is the correct time to enter into stock. So I guess a blend of both, like fundamental analysis and technical analysis, both, if you have a blend of both, it becomes very easy because you decide a good company, and based on the technical analysis, you decide actually which level is the perfect levels to enter into the stock market. So I prefer both, like I know both of this, and any become professional can learn both of this. It's not a tough thing, but the most important part when it comes to stock market is that you need to give some time. You need to have that patience, you need to have that set of mindset where you can make money out of the stock market. So that
Are
becomes
there
little.
Yeah. I mean, after BCom only they can enter into this field, or there are some certified courses they have to qualify to enter the field, sir?
No, after BCom, you can directly enter that. There are a couple of exams which National Stock Exchange conducts, like capital market and derivative market. It becomes very easy to get into join any stock market company if you have these exams, and that's something which is mandatory nowadays. So that's like a very simple exam. You know, it's a MCQ based exam. You can take any of these two exams, and you can join any of the stockbroker.
Otherwise, is there any
Just to add to what Kamal says, there is this NISM which has a lot of certification courses,
Correct.
certificate courses on hedging, derivatives, mutual funds, and so through this, the candidate can get entry into even the mutual funds area. He can become a mutual fund advisor, and he enter into the stock exchange. So NISM is a very good platform which offers a lot of courses.
Correct.
Okay, and what are the different job profiles available in this particular field, sir?
So it's very similar, like you can join any of the stockbroker. So you can learn over there multiple things. There is arbitrage also, which you can learn over there, which is also very challenging and very interesting also. So you can hedge between different markets over the world, like you can hedge between Indian markets and the London markets. So arbitrage is one of the thing, technical analysis is one of the thing, fundamental analysis is also one of the thing. And you can manage portfolio PMS service also, portfolio management services also you can manage. So a lot of profiles are there, but and it's easy to get into it, but once you get into it, to sustain it becomes a little challenging because you are handling a huge set of corpus, and you are bound to give returns to the investors who are investing. So but again, over the time, over once you enter into it, you learn and you gradually become that, you have that mindset, you have that habit of how to manage the money. But it's a good profile, right? Nowadays it's a very demanding profile, it's a very growing also.
Yeah. Thank you so much. And what about commodity markets? I mean, stock market and commodity markets. Are there different job profiles or any special, different courses for the BCom students to enter into these two different markets?
So when we talk about stock market, the exams which are there, like how Varun told, there are NISM certifications which are there. So that's mostly for stock markets and mutual fund. But if you want to go into commodity markets, so Indian markets, it's multi-commodity exchange who basically regulates this. And there is a set of different examination which MCX conducts, very similar to how NISM conducts, but it's almost similar only. So if you clear those examinations, you can get into commodity market. So I started with commodity market only, and after that I learned stock market. But again, when you see commodity market, it's almost there for 14 hours, and the money involved is also too much. But again, it's very interesting.
Okay, fine. So, ladies and gentlemen, to your surprise, CPA Kamal has expertise in building dashboards using data visualization tools like ClickView and Idea. He's also into building workflows using the tool Alteryx. Ladies and gentlemen, he has done certificate courses on Alteryx Designer Core from University of Florida. He's also done Python from University of Michigan. He's also done software designing from University of Florida. He's done visual analytics with Tableau from University of California. He's also a SQL developer. So when I see the profile of these two young professionals, जो मेरे ज़हन में बात आ रही है, हद में रहकर कभी कामयाबी नहीं मिलती. कामयाबी के लिए हदों को पार तो करना ही पड़ता है. So if you want to bring revolution, you have to be part of that revolution. Remember, change is the only constant, and those who remain constant, they will perish. So we just need to challenge our status quo and enter into different streams. So my question to Mr. Kamal is, sir, students coming from commerce background now, just like you, they are becoming data scientists. You are also a BCom graduate. You have done honors in accounting from University of Kolkata. So my question is, do you think holding the BCom degree, is it an additional benefit for you to adopt the career of data science?
I guess actually true, because if you have a BCom background, and when you have all these knowledge of technical thing, okay, it becomes very easy. Now the market is such that only BCom or only engineering is not going to help you. So now if you have a techno-functional profile, or if you know both of these aspects, like you have finance knowledge plus you have this engineering background or engineering knowledge, that becomes very easy, because right now we are using so much technology and we are using so much innovation. Like innovation is like the buzz right now. So when you are doing so much innovation, you need to have a mindset of a bachelor or a commerce graduate, plus you need to have a knowledge of this. So if you have a blend of both, it becomes very easy to step in your career. So this is what I've learned in KPMG. Like they have a huge set of professionals and they need a huge set of professionals who are bachelor in commerce, plus they know engineering part also, plus they know some little bit of development also. You need to have a basic understanding and then they will train you. So that's not a problem. But if you have a blend of both, it becomes very easy to grow in your career. So that's what I have learned and that's what I've been doing also.
That's perfect, sir. Perfect. Over to Mr. Varun now. Sir, we are talking about degrees, certificate, courses, and all. Although a degree is not mandatory for becoming a successful entrepreneur, but these degrees can be very helpful because you would be taught different skills in the universities you join, like soft skills or accounting or time management, emotional maturity, and also. So my question to you is, doing a bachelor degree, which is a worthy investment of time and money, and particularly in today's world of interconnected global economies. So do you think BCom degree would help you in gaining the knowledge to become a successful entrepreneur in this business world, sir?
Honestly, I would say yes, because today BCom is not the same BCom which we used to study, I would say at least 20, 25 years back. Today, there is a blend of BCom. Even in BCom, there have become so many streams, like, BCom honors, BCom with computer science, BCom with CPA now, BCom with, there are so many endless, list that goes on, that now students get to choose as to where they want to excel in their life, where they can pursue their interest. And with that, of course, when a person gets to taste that kind of, a course, he obviously will excel in whatever he does, be it an entrepreneur or be it if he's going to go for an employment. So yes, BCom today will shape up the candidate if he wants to become an entrepreneur. I think that I recently heard of a BCom where it gives you guidance on startups.
Yeah.
So if a person really wants to become an entrepreneur, so I would say BCom with a startup is a brilliant avenue or a brilliant platform for him to chase his dreams. So yes, of course, I would say BCom, yes, it helps to, help shape a person to become an entrepreneur.
So, ladies and gentlemen, BCom degrees are providing a well-rounded business education, equipping the graduates with necessary skills and knowledge to succeed in this corporate world. What this Mr. Varun Agarwal wanted to say. Over to Mr. Kamal. Can you please say something about whether BCom graduates can launch a startup or not?
Of course, why not? Like BCom professionals are like, they have almost like 15 years of education. They can do anything, like whether it's startup or whether it go for employment. Like even to be very honest, like I also didn't want to go into employment. I started my own startup when I just cleared my BCom. So I had a startup called as on-time delivery, basically what Big Basket and what Swiggy does it right now. I had that mindset like 10 years back. So I started with it. It didn't go much successful. I just did it for 2-3 years and I handed over to one of my friend. But yeah, startup is a brilliant idea. If you are a BCom, to be very honest, you need to have some studies. BCom is like the base, like you need to have that foundation. Once you clear BCom, then there is multiple aspects. Startup is one of the thing which is very trending right now. And if you have a brilliant idea, if you have that Josh chahiye jo, if you have that thing, you can easily become a good entrepreneur and a successful entrepreneur.
Yeah, are there any taxation benefits to these startups, sir?
Yeah, you have multiple benefits when you open a startup. So there are, if you are into different startup, you don't have to pay taxes, or you have to pay very minimal taxes for the initial 4 years. And if you like initial, when you open a startup, there are initial where few years where you won't be able to make some profits out of it. So you won't be paying any taxes out of it also.
Okay.
Maybe Varun would be having a better understanding. He's a CA, so he would be having a better understanding about what
Over to
the tax
Mr.
role pays.
Yeah, over to CPA.
So yeah, government has given some benefits to these startups. I'm not sure exactly of the taxation benefit, I mean, in detail, but yeah, initial years of, your launch and you have something, a few years of holiday period wherein there is no taxes or there is lower amount of taxes for the startup. But as well as there are a lot of initiatives also which is given by the government of India and in the startup arena. So yes, there is a lot of scope for startups as well.
Fine, fine, sir. So next question goes to Mr. Varun only. Sir, uncertainties are part and parcel of our life. Actuarial science is a discipline that deals with assessment and management of the financial risk. And one has to be well prepared to manage and mitigate these risks. So here comes the role of an actuary, a business professional who is well versed in actuarial science. Actuarial science, ladies and gentlemen, is a viable and highly rewarding career option nowadays for individuals who are willing to translate their knowledge of risk assessment into a full-time vocation. Sir, do you think the most beneficial graduation stream for this career is BCom Honors?
I would say yes, because today actuarial is one of the highest paying jobs in the country, and of course at the same time it is one of the toughest exams to crack. I've heard instances of the people getting a 7-figure salary as a starting salary after becoming an actuarial. And आज हमारे पास कई तरह के insurance है, like life insurance, motor insurance, whatever you name the product, you have an insurance for it. And जब claim की बारी आती है, whom do we go to? All these actuaries. So this is one of the high paying areas, and like in one of the few minutes before where you mentioned, whether IP is charged or RV is charged based on the valuation of the company. Here comes a scenario where actually the actuaries charge an amount based on what the claimed amount that they are going to submit to the insurance company. So which is not the right thing to do, but yeah, when it comes to claims, when it comes to these pension funds and all these financial services areas, so actually actuaries play a very vital role in settling the claim or arriving at the claim amounts.
What is the eligibility criteria to enter the field, sir?
I think a graduate or a postgraduate MCom or a BCom can enter into this actuarial science. A graduation is more than sufficient to enter into this field.
Fine, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Over to CPA Kamal Rajnikant. FinTech, finance and technology coming together, and it is attracting commerce students. If I talk about the average FinTech salary in India, it is around 12 lakh per year, or we can say around 500 per hour. Entry-level position, as per facts and figures, started to pay 6,50,000 per year, but the most experienced workers, they make up to this 35 lakh per year. What do you say about this, sir? I mean, the BCom graduates entering into FinTech.
That's, I guess, like the most demanding profile right now. Like it's a very niche profile. And if you know, in Japan, there's a degree which is called as a financial engineering, which actually focuses on this. Like they basically hire a finance people and they teach them engineering. So this is like one of the niche profile, and not only Big Fours, many other companies also are looking for these fintech professionals. They know finance and they know technology also. So if you have a blend of both, whatever the numbers which you are saying make sense, it's exactly true. And even more than that also, I guess, to be very honest, I'm also a fintech professional. So I know finance, I know engineering also. So right now that's what I think it's the future also, because people don't want to hire separate BCom professionals and engineers. They want someone who knows both of it, and it becomes very easy for the company also, and it becomes very easy for a particular profession also to learn something or to build something. And that's what I think is the future.
Yeah, what course you have done to enter this field, sir? Because you are also financial engineer.
So I'm a CPA. I'm also US CPA, like how Varun is. So I didn't do CA. I'm directly a US CPA. I did BCom, I did masters, and then I became a US CPA. But along with it, I did a lot of other courses like SQL or maybe data visualization. I did many multiple courses around this. So that's when I became like a finance guy who knows a lot of engineering stuff also.
Fine.
There are very short courses which are available online also, or maybe there are some small institutes which conducts all these things. So maybe if you have a BCom degree along with if that you learn all these things, that becomes very easy.
Yeah, you talked about one course which is offered by Japan on financial engineering.
Yeah, Japan. There is a one course which is offered by, it's offered only in Japan, which is called as a financial engineering. So if you are just a graduate, if you're just a BCom graduate, you can enroll for that financial engineering course.
Fine, that's good. That's good, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. Okay, over to you, sir. Okay, tell me something about cyber laws and how BCom students can enter into the practice of cyber laws.
So cyber The question to me or Kamal?
Yeah. You please go ahead,
Okay.
sir.
So cyber laws is again a very, very, very niche area which all the MNCs have to have in their office, in their infrastructure. So you have these courses like CISA, which is a very classic course offered by the American Institute. It is called Certified Information Systems, CISA, Certified Information Systems Auditor. So that is a very niche course which is taken up or recognized by MNCs and even banks who want to get into these cyber security areas. So they need these auditors, such auditors, to look into their setup system and see if there are any loopholes. So that's when a cyber auditor comes into picture. And yeah, a BCom can do a CISA because it's a certification course. And there is no post-graduation like a thing that is required to do this CISA. Like how you have a CISA offered by the US, in Indian equivalent, it is called DISA, which is offered by the Indian Institute of Chartered Accountants of India.
That's
So again,
great.
CISA is globally recognized, whereas DISA is recognized only in India.
Okay, fine. That's great. Everybody, please note this certificate course if you want to practice cyber laws, right? Yeah, because your CA, CPA, tell me something about certified fraud examiner. What is this course about?
Again, CFE is something to do with forensic audit, wherein you detect frauds that is happening in the system, or you come into a conclusion where there is a lot of collusion, or for mishappenings in the organization's internal controls. So that is where a certified fraud examiner comes into picture. Again, this is a global course offered by US. And Indian equivalent of this CFE is this FAFD, which is offered by ICAI. So again, all courses, whatever is offered in India, they are all, taken from the US system, and they are now implemented now in India.
Fine. So is there any mandatory provision for the companies to hire these fraud examiners, or only as and when the case arises?
I think it is as is where is basis. I'm not too sure, and probably since Kamal is in the Big Four, he might be in a better position to answer this question.
Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. So now we have almost all the big fours. They have like a set of team who are into this, like who are into like CFE and who are into all these things. But it's not a mandatory requirement. But yeah, big four, when they audit like lots and lots of companies, they do have an entire set of team who looks after this.
Fine to know, sir. Okay, my question to CPA Kamal, sir. There are so many new age careers emerging in commerce, which are lucrative on monetary front also. If any of the areas that I have skipped, but it's in your mind, please share with the audience.
I guess like all the options which you see are all are good. Like after BCom, maybe you can start with like CPA, one of the most like easiest way how you can like become a, like if you do CA, it takes a time, like it takes at least 4 to 5 years to become a CA. CPA won't take that much time, like you can wrap up your CPA within 1.5 year of time if everything went smooth. One more option which you can think about it is CFA, which is also very lucrative. So if you want to go into specifically into investment banking, and if you don't want to opt for MBA, then CFA is also a wonderful option. To be very honest, it's little difficult. But when you see investment banking is something which is like a very niche area, and many people have this fancy thing of investment banking. So if you want to go into this, CFA is like one of the most common options which you can join any of the investment banker.
Right, sir. Over to CPA Varun Agarwal, please. Can you please, tell us some other emerging areas for commerce students which we are not able to touch in this session?
I think, ma'am, now AI is the trending thing in worldwide. So there are, I think, upcoming courses where you can do your you can upskill in AI, in the sense like if you talk about ChatGPT, people are not they don't know, I would say 99% people are using ChatGPT, but 99% know only 1% of how to use that ChatGPT. So there are now skills and these areas coming up where people can upgrade themselves in using AI efficiently and how they can benefit the organizations. So this is one area that is coming up. But apart from that, after BCom, any of these CA, CMA, CS, CPA, CFA, CFE, they are all very, very lucrative, and globally recognized courses.
Yeah.
Though they are traditional, but they are again, the charm is never lost. They are all evergreen and lucrative courses for any candidate.
Got it, sir. So many times we heard about internships with Ministry of Commerce or Ministry of Corporate Affairs. I mean, what type of roles they assign to BCom students or MCom students?
For me,
With
okay.
Ministry of, yeah, you only, sir.
Okay, so MCA offers these small interns to people who are doing, I think, company secretaryship, so they can get into the system and get into the advisory role, or even get to know what types of forms or what exactly happens in the MCA system. So that kind of an internship is provided by MCA. And also people who are doing these internship courses, they get to know more about what actually happens within the system, and they can come out and they can what you say, give some betterment to the people who are in the professional side when they join a company secretary. So that is the area where they can show their specialization or their expertise when they join the internships.
That's great to learn. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any queries, the house is open. And let's see in the chat box if any queries are there. Ma'am Himanshi, if there are any chats, there are queries in the chat box, please let us know.
Yeah, ma'am, I think we're not having any questions. Just there was this one request to converse in maybe mixed language, that is Hindi and English. I think that was fulfilled. And so I would now like to request, if anyone has any question, you can post in chat box, Q&A box, or you can directly raise your hand so that we can allow you to talk to our experts here as well. Okay, I think, ma'am, we're done with the queries.
So should we, close the session? So
Yeah.
ladies and gentlemen, remember, life is about choices and decisions we make. It's a road, and every road has a crossroads inside it. With limited knowledge on where they would go, which road will you take? What is a guarantee that the road that you choose is the right one? So get as many information as you can about your situation. Identify the options, create the options, weigh the pros and cons of each and every option in your life. Trust yourself, make the decision, and just embark on the life journey. All the best from my side. That's all from Dr. Upendra Katoch, Professor, Accounting and Law, lovely professional university. Thank you, CPA Kamal. Thank you, CPA Varun Agarwal. Thank you
so much, ma'am. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am. Thank you, sir. But I think we've got this one query from Sajid. Okay, so
to the experts, if you can see which MBA specialization is best, sir. CPA Varun firstly, and then we will ask CPA Kamal.
Okay, so again in MBA, there is a specialization in finance, there is a specialization in marketing. So again, it depends on what career path you want to go. So if you want to become a marketing professional, so I think MBA marketing would be the apt choice for you. If you want to get into a financial consultancy, or if you wanted to get into an investment banking, so MBA finance would help you a lot, in that area. So again, depends on what in future you want to do. Based on that, you will have to choose your specialization today.
Yeah, that's great. That's great. Over to CPA Kamal to answer the same question.
I completely echo with Varun, like exactly what he said. I'm 100% agreeing with it. I'm also a graduate. So I did my MBA in finance. So again, same thing. Like if you want to go into a finance professional, like somewhere into investment banking or financial planning analysis, MBA finance would be a better option. But if you want to go into anything around marketing, or if you want to become anything into public relations, then I think so MBA marketing would be better option. But make sure you choose the college wisely, because that is something which is very important. So when you do MBA, make sure you select the right college. That is something which is very important.
That's great. Yes, audience, any other question you have? We are here to answer your queries, please. CPA Varun, CPA Kamal, it was a wonderful session with you. And one more question is here. Please see it there in the chat box. We still have 7 minutes.
Is there jobs available on BCom basis?
We already have discussed a lot on this.
Yes.
Yeah. So recording will be available, I think, with Himanshi, and both the experts, they have elaborated on different jobs which are available after you complete graduation in commerce, right?
So recording will be actually available on YouTube as well. And you can explore our site, that is lpu.in. So there also you can see the session. So if you have any other queries, attendees, you can just post us. Otherwise, I think we're done with the queries. Sir, ma'am, thank you so much for joining in, sir. And with this,
Thank you.
I think I wrap this webinar up. Thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Good day.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.